Morning, Thursday, the 19th of March. I've not checked my time up, just a sec. No, nothing of note on the 19th of March, neither last year or any previous years, to be honest with you. Oh, excuse me. I had a letter this morning telling me that my ESA benefit is going up by £5.85 a week. So that's not bad. Yeah. What to tell you then today? I can tell you that 12 months ago I had possibly one of the worst night's sleep I'd had in hospital. As I say, I was in a room with 5 other blokes, 3 of which had got sensors on the beds that if they got out of bed they would alarm, and every single one of the 3 at some point through the night, multiple points through the night, decided that they were getting up. We had a nurse on the ward at all times, so she was putting them back in bed, but the beds were beeping, and oh god, then you got others talking and shouting, and man alive, it weren't it looking back now, it was funny. As I said yesterday, it was like being in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Looking back now, yes, funny. At the time, no, because I couldn't. I tried catching up on my sleep through the day, but they were just as bad through the day. Then the guy opposite me, his son, from the moment he could get in to visit to the moment he had to leave to visit, and even an hour after he should have gone, he was still there. He was there. Nice lad, really nice lad. But he dressed as a pirate. Not for anything other than he liked to dress as a pirate. I kid you not. Bandana, big blousey type shirt. Yeah. He was a pirate. He identified as a pirate. From what I heard him, I can't remember if it was him that actually said it, or I heard somebody explain to somebody else, but he dressed as a pirate one day and decided it felt comfortable, it felt nice, it felt right for him. So he dressed as a pirate from there on in. Now, I'm not one to judge. As I say, he was a lovely lad. He couldn't do enough for his dad. But yeah, and I kind of put my foot in it the very after. Yeah, yesterday as it was last year, when I went down onto Acorn Ward and into my bed, as they were about to close the screens around me, pull the curtains around me and sit and go through stuff that they had to go through because I've been admitted onto that ward. He were knocking about and going in and out of this bloke's, who I'd then found out were his dad. But I'm like, oh, you know, am I meds that high? Or am I hallucinating, or have I just seen a pirate? And nurses were like, oh, don't. I'm like, what? It's his son. I'm like, all right. What, does he work somewhere? Like, no. I'm like, oh, right, fine, fair enough. Like I said, got used to it after a couple of days. Even when I were in room on my own, I'd see him passing up and down. But like I say, he was a nice lad, and he couldn't do enough for his dad. But oh man, yeah. So yeah. So they brought me my caliper, which was attached to my yellow trainers. and I tried it on, and the strap that went around my calf weren't long enough. So I had three of the physios. I got my Zimmer frame, and they were, excuse me, seeing if I could walk with this here caliper on. Two of the physios stood up, and one on her hands and knees with her hand holding the caliper in place around my calf. And it didn't work, but they had to send it back to have the strap made longer. I mean, I said, well, why can't they just give me an extra length of Velcro that, it can loop through? And no. I mean, rules are rules, I suppose. But eventually, I mean, it took forever to come back. I've moved rooms, couple of rooms, before I actually got it back, and it was strap what right length. But here we go. What else to tell you? Oh, I had a visit on the 19th last year from a gaffer, Danielle, and Karen and Eileen. And in fact, not Karen. Karen was still off on maternity. Eileen and Rob from work, two colleagues from work, came bringing me gifts and the like, one of which was a Vespa Primavera model, which is still up in the studio waiting to be built, because it's a proper sort of Airfix type model, and as it is at the moment, I haven't got the dexterity. It took me numerous hours over the space of 2 days just to do that small, not the small, it took a good few hours to do the small record player. It took longer to do the slightly bigger record player. So to do something as fiddly as a Airfix type model, but it will get done at some point, guys. And yeah, and Danielle bought me a mucky fat sarnie, a beef dripping sarnie from Bears in Sheffield. Oh man, I could have lived off them. Yeah, she remembered hearing me say that I like mucky fat sarnies. So she called in, because she lives in Sheffield apparently. Well, not apparently, she does, she lives in Sheffield. So in a way, in that morning, knowing that they were coming to see me, she called in and bought me a beef dripping butty, which were divine. I do miss them, I've got to say. It's been, January 17th, I think it was, that I've flown in sick for the first time, till January, February, March. February, March. Yeah, so it's been 14 months since I've been at work. And when it's a job that you love, then it's difficult when your mind's sharp as well. When I had my accident on scooter, I was off for 12 months and 3 days, and that was difficult in a different way. I spent most of them 12 months lay flat on my back with my leg in air. I weren't in hospital that long either. We're only in hospital 3 weeks or so with that. So, I mean, all right, I kept going back in and having other operations, but even then, I weren't in long, whereas I were in hospital from 23rd of January to the back end of April. So I was in hospital for 3 months. It seemed a lot longer. 83 days in total I was in hospital. And as I said, Vicky came and visited me 82 out of them 83. The one that she completely forgets about, she says she came 81. She only missed 2 days. She missed one. The day that she confuses as being a missed day, it was the day that I was told that I got kidney cancer, and I gave her a ring and she come up and saw me because Mr. Khan had done his rounds before breakfast. So I managed to catch her before she left for work, and she come up and saw me. That's when she told me that, yeah, well, we did think so. Well, what, you knew? But as I said the other day on the other day's video, I get it. I do get it, and I understand. You know, I had enough to work at and suss at and process where, oh, you've got cancer as well, son. So, but hey ho. So yes, here we are, Thursday. I have no plans for today. Didn't make the chili yesterday. I couldn't find the bits of that. I was looking for a chili sauce, and apparently Vicky makes her own chili sauce. So we had a Chinese. I had char sweet, fried rice, and curry sauce, and some little spring rolls last night, which is probably why my blood sugar's up this morning. But so we'll see what we're having tonight. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Got Barnsley at home against Donny on Saturday. Dinners, aka Bammy, aka the Four Drunk, aka Neil, is coming to see me on Sunday. He's up visiting his relatives in Oldham, so he's coming on his, before he goes home, he's popping in, which will be nice because he's I love dinners. He's a crazy mad fool. But he's one of them crazy mad fools that you can't help but love. He's the brother that I never had. He's a one-off. I love him to bits. We've had his fallouts over it. Well, we had one big fallout over years, but thankfully his missus managed to see sense in us both and get us both back together. And he came up to see me. He came up to see me while I was in the coma. He came up to see me after I come out of my coma. He came up to see me after I come out of hospital. And bearing in mind, this man lives in near Norfolk, in Norfolk-ish area, Wisbech, Kings Lynn, kind of down fat ass bit of England. It's not a long journey, but it's a journey all the same. That, you know, for somebody to come that far. I think at one point while we're in a coma, he'd had a nudge off management that you don't know which way this is going to go, Neil. You need to go and see him, kind of conversation. But yeah, I can't wait to see him on Sunday. Sunday morning something's happening as well, which I can't tell you about just now, but I will do in time. A good thing, a very good thing. Something that I'm a little bit nervous about, to tell you the truth, but there we go. So I'm talking about people that come to see me. There's people that didn't come to see me that kept in touch. There's people that didn't come to see me because they didn't want to see me in that condition. And I get it, and I completely get it, and I hold no bad thoughts towards anybody that didn't come to see me, because the people that have kept in touch and were in touch with Vicky and were in touch with Finn and in touch with each other while I were in the coma and before I managed to get back online, and even then it weren't until I come out of hospital and I put I've got a blog site which I rarely go on, and I hadn't for about 12 months or so, and I put it all on there. I wrote a piece on there, and I think it genuinely took me 4 days to type, because I was doing it. I mean, even now I find it easier to type with my little finger than I do than 2 fingers, just because of grief I have with my hands. But it took me 4 days to write it, not because I was struggling what to write, it was just struggling to type. But I put it all up on there. I'll put a link down here or somewhere at the end. If anyone wants to go and read it, then please do. It tells you a lot of what I've been through. But again, it was somewhat therapeutic. Not only therapeutic, but it meant I didn't have to tell everybody individually. It's like, what's time with you been and one thing and another, you know, what's happened, what you've been through, what's been occurring. I could just say, look, folks, this is what happened. This is where you can go and read about it. Please do if you're interested. And like I say, it was therapeutic in the same way that they're doing these as therapeutic. You know, I genuinely, it don't matter to me how many people are watching them. I know there is quite a few folk out there watching every day, and it's nice. You know, Vicky's sister Melissa, she mentioned when she come for dinner on Sunday that she listens to them every day, and it's nice. And thank you, Fliss. It does mean a lot that you listen, and as I say, the fact that people, the fact they're all mixed, and people are searching for answers as to where's Sam, what's happened to Sam, why ain't he about, why ain't he posting? Because I'm one of these sad bastards that spends quite a lot of time on Twitter, and the majority, 90% of what I put on there is utter bollocks, but it keeps me entertained. In the same way that it's here now 16 minutes, 16 and a half minutes, and all I've done is waffle really. But doing this, it's a long, when you sat at home and you've knocked to door, the long days, and doing this, even if it's not actually somebody sat there talking to you, it's therapeutic to talk to you. It's like Mick, my best man, who I went to Redbeck for last time with, you know, he came and saw me, bless him. You know, it means a lot that people come and see me. It means a lot that people who don't come and see me are still in touch and are still interested. And I speak to them on a regular, daily basis. Jim, the guy that I used to, well, I still am part of Rock and Roll Lounge, my DJ captain of the ship, Rock and Roll Lounge. He's been and seen me in hospital, he's been and seen me while I've been at home. And we've been through to Sheffield to see him, you know. King of the Mods, Dave. I've not seen him in person, but then I haven't seen him in person for about 2 years. In fact, last time I saw Dave in person, when we went to see Weller at City Hall in 2024. But we speak on a daily basis, me and Dave. You know, he doesn't have to be in the room with me for me to know that he cares. Andy Sharman. Again, I've never met Andy in real world, but every so often I'll get a note from him. Professor Verne. I've never met Professor Verne, and I've known him 20 years. And yet, you know, wherever he is in the world, because he does get about a bit, he'll ask that, you know, I'll get an email or a text or, you know, some form of communication asking how I am. It's nice. It's nice. And I'm not saying this so that I get bombarded with messages. I'm not saying, you know, anything like that. I'm just saying, it's my way of saying thank you. And thank you. And it means a lot. And I've got so much love for you all, whether you're people I've known all my life or whether you're people I've known through my phone for a couple of years. It means the world to me. And before I start bawling my eyes, I'll set TTFN for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. So take care. I'm trying to do my video, so will you behave yourselves? Thank you. Bloody dogs. Pain in the ass. Ah, crap.